Welcome back, guys. Game week 5 is almost here. And as FPL managers, what's your biggest headache? Is it team selection? Is it the transfers? Or is it the chips you'd want to use? No worries. In this video, we'll give you a few tips here and there as to what to look out for as an FPL manager heading into game week 5. This is the Inside FPL segment on the locker room vibes. Before we get into it, I would like you to kindly subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let's know what your biggest headache is and what you plan on doing. Alright, so as I said, game week 5 is upon us as FPL managers. And in my recent video, I spoke about the fact that some teams play during the midweek. We had some EFL action, we had Champions League. And one thing that you should know is for EFL, most managers or most Premier League managers wouldn't really go, or most of them went with their second team, or they mixed it up, so you wouldn't have a lot of players being rested when it comes to the EPL over the weekend. And same for the Champions League. You're not going to have so many rotations, but most managers will want to keep the consistency, because once you start the Champions League very good, heading into the subsequent matches you should come out on top. So most of them will want to also keep that consistency, want to apply same vim, same performance into the EPL. So you're not going to be expecting so many rotations apart from players returning from injuries and other teams that would like to conserve energy. So now we have, or you can see for the Liverpool side, that we are going to have a few rotations or minutes here and there for Isak. So is it going to happen for Higo Ekitike? So it's either going to be, or it's most likely going to be Isak starting, and some way or somehow along the line during the game, he's either going to be taken off, or another winger is going to be taken off for Higo Ekitike to come in, depending on the intensity of the game. Alright, so getting into it, I would like us to just look at a few things before we go into the team review. So basically, we'll get into the fixture rating, how difficult most of the fixtures are looking. So we'll take 2 or 3 game weeks. So Arsenal, as I said, after the City game, you should definitely get a few Arsenal players. If you don't already have them, you should have a defender at least, because you could easily get an assist or a goal from a defender. And the most perfect one would be the clean sheet, which is going to be a plus from Arsenal defenders. You could also get a differential in Declan Rice, who could easily provide an assist from a set piece or even score a goal, which would be a plus. So heading into game week 6, 7, and 8, I think Arsenal should be very good, or they should be comfortable. So you should definitely get some Arsenal players here and there. Aston Villa are still finding their feet, so as I said, you'd want to be very cautious. Bournemouth seem to have started the season very strong, and you'd want to pick a few players here and there. So you should definitely have at least a winger from Bournemouth, and a defender won't be bad. I mostly like to just place emphasis on the positions and you go in for the player. Some players I would mention emphatically because they are amongst the most chosen. Others I'll leave it very blank for you to just decide. Brentford are trying to make a statement. They have some tricky matches going into game week 5, 6, 7. So you'd want to be very cautious when going there. Against Manchester United, it could go either way, because Manchester United are still finding their feet, I think. Then we have Brighton and Hove Albion. You could try to avoid them for now until about game week 8. They're about where you could have slightly good fixtures. They could provide a goal or an assist here and there from 5 till about game week 5 to about 7, but it looks very tricky. Burnley trying to make a statement there, but they have some few tough matches heading into game week 6 and 7. So you'd want to be very cautious. Game week 5, I think it could be very good for them against the Nottingham Forest team that would like to fully press or fully attack. So let's see how that goes. Chelsea against, they have some tricky fixtures, but you could get them heading into game week 9 thereabouts. It should be good for you once you have some few Chelsea players. And even heading into game week 5, 6, it should be okay to have a few good Chelsea players. You could have a defender for an assist or a clean sheet. You could also have Cole Palmer or Joao Pedro for the forward. Estavo too should be returning, so that is also going to be a plus for some managers. So he could be a very good differential. West Ham, after West Ham have some tricky games in there, some good, some tricky. So you'd have to be very cautious. You could rotate them. Everton after Liverpool, I think they should be a little bit okay, even though they have a few. Is same for Crystal Palace, the same as Crystal Palace. The games come and go. Fulham too are facing the same conundrum. Leeds United, you should have some very good fixtures over the next 4 to 5 game weeks for them. So you could definitely target a few wingers or midfielders from Leeds United. We'll keep an eye on them. Liverpool as well. So you should have some Liverpool players. Of course, if not for anything, you could have Salah. Isaac is yet to really establish himself. So if you have the faith in him already, why not go for him? Because he can easily provide. He has proven already at Newcastle. So City are facing a very structured Arsenal side this game week. But from there, they should be okay for the next 3 or 4 game weeks. So after Arsenal, you can definitely have a few City players, at least the most notable being Haaland, because we expect him to be in the mix here and there. Manchester United, I'm not too sure about them, but after this game week 5, you could have a player in Bruno Fernandes, Mbeumo, who is here to also provide. So who's here to really prove himself. You could have him as a good differential, but most definitely have Bruno Fernandes. The Newcastle, so heading into the game weeks, quite tricky. I'm yet to really figure them out, so you could be very conserved when it comes to them. Nottingham Forest, now I'm a little skeptical about them. I had faith in Chris Wood, but it seems the manager also has a different mindset. So let's see how it goes for them. So you could avoid Nottingham Forest players for now, and you should most definitely have players from Spurs. You could have players from the defense, midfield, attack, differentials from attack, differentials from midfield. Some being Papissa, some being Brennan Johnson. Those are differentials. Very, very. You should be very cautious about that. But now it seems the manager has faith in Xavi Simons. Kudus is in the mix thereabouts. You could have good defenders or wing backs in Pedro Porro, Van der Ven. Very, very solid players there. I think Spurs have a good run coming, so you should most definitely go for a few Spurs players, 1 or 2. Sunderland too as well. You could have a defender because they've proven to be very, very solid at the back, and also they tend to provide the goods in front. West Ham, not too sure. Wolves, not too sure, but you could have them as differentials. They would play a very good role there. So that is for the fixtures. You should be very cautious when selecting. Heading into this game week, we know Liverpool are starting the marathon by taking on Everton. That is an early kickoff match. It could be a very boring match because Liverpool would want to be very conserved. Everton would try to bring their problems as usual. So we hope to see how that goes. Then we have Brighton Spurs. You should most definitely have players from this match. Burnley Nottingham do have players. Crystal Palace West Ham, a player won't be bad. Wolves Leeds, a player won't be bad. Manchester United Chelsea, a player won't be bad. Brentford, Fulham. You can be a player won't be bad, but you should be very conserved. Bournemouth, Newcastle. A player won't be bad. Sunderland, Aston Villa. Here, but let's see how that goes. Arsenal City, I think it could end up being a very boring match, but let's see how that goes as well. So this game week, it looks like it's heading is going to be very tricky. So hence, I think it's not that this is not the right time to use a chip. You could wait head into game week 7, then you could come out with your wild card or game week 8 and get your wild card going to change your whole team. By that time, you'd see how managers are really going to set up. You'd have a good idea after the transfer window. You get to understand how the managers would want to get things done, and the subsequent game weeks when things are settled, you could go in for a triple captain bench boost along the line, and you could wait for free hits and use it during the December fixtures when things are a little bit tough. Player teams are a little bit fatigued, and it will be a good advantage for you then. So triple captain somewhere in the mix once you've had a total change in your team and you believe you are set to go. But do use it before the first half of this season, else you lose everything, because you are going to get two, as I've said, or as has been indicated. So for the team review, I'm going with this team: Gabriel Munez, Cucurella, Kudus, Semenyo, Salah, Grealish, Mateta, Thiago, Bowen, and Raya at the back. So as I've said, I'm applying differentials this for some time to see how things go. This game week looks a little bit tricky, but I'm hoping for the best. I'm still going to maintain this, giving my captaincy to Mateta, also a differential option, because I know most managers are eyeing either Salah or any other. I think Gapo was there in the mix thereabouts. So most players and most managers are looking elsewhere, but I am going for Mateta as a differential captain as well. So let's see how the differentials go. Keep up with me. Just follow. Pick a few tips. I gave a few good tips last game week, and it played out for so many managers. So you could pick a few from this game week and also apply, and you should be rising as an FPL manager. Kindly subscribe, like, and let's grow.